How's the morning going so far? Good? A few people are still coming in. My name is Jason Wilson. I'm a product manager for Microsoft 365 Security. And thanks for coming to learn how to harden your security posture with Microsoft Secure Score. I have to admit, this is a larger room than I was expecting. When I was walking over here, I saw the small breakout rooms, and I'm like, all right, I got this. I got this. And then I walked in, and I'm like, crap. But anyway, it's great having all of you in here today. So I'm going to do the whole show of hands thing, various non-scientific polling. So how many people know of Secure Score? All right, a whole bunch. How many people actively use it? All right, way less than the people who know about it. Of the people who use it, do you like it? And be honest. All right, way less than the people who use it. All right, hopefully, there are a lot of product improvements happening, and we're building a lot more cross-integrations with other Microsoft products. Also, who works in compliance? Oh, it's okay. I'm a former compliance guy with the US government, and I think compliance is sexy. Not many people do. Everyone else, just IT admins, security admins, SecOps, analysts. Raise your hand if you're included. And all right, I'll stop with the hands thing. Thank you very much, though. So when it comes to, so every year, Microsoft puts out the Security Intelligence Report that sort of outlines for the industry, or multiple industries, what are some of the general threats threat trends that we're seeing. And over the past few years, we've noticed three major trends, and basically, it's going to be really obvious, but the three trends are identity-based attacks, of course. The target is information, and the attacks themselves it's automated attacks. Increasingly, we're seeing that. So the first thing is, with identity-based attacks, last year they were up 300%. And of the major incidences that rose to or broke the threshold of actually being a true breach, 81% were caused by compromised credentials. Identity is the essential security control plane. And so once people get compromised credentials, they can obviously laterally move through your environment and establish domain dominance and eventually go after whatever they want. And most of the time, it's the second trend. It's information. Gone are the days of the hackers, crackers, and script kiddies sort of like doing things for like fandom, notoriety. It's now more a targeted approach to gaining access to sensitive data, company-sensitive information. And they're using tools that are increasingly automated, or just are automated, which are bombarding security or SecOps analysts at a velocity that they're not able to handle. I mean, a single human or a group of humans using tools that are manual or multiple tools across multiple vendors, they're being bombarded with alerts, false alerts, all these attacks constantly. It's hard to keep up. And so it's making security management and SecOps extremely difficult. So at Microsoft, we define sort of the security management estate, if you will, based on those four resources: identity, devices, or your endpoint, data and apps, and your infrastructure, which underlying that in security posture management are three key components or core values. You need visibility. So you need to understand what your current state is and what the risk is across all your resources and how possibly you can mitigate it. Your controls. You have to understand what controls you have deployed and what security state that you exist in at like T0 or time zero. And then furthermore, as we know, sort of security controls, be it ISO 27001 or NIST 853 Rev 4, now about to be Rev 5, they're changing faster than they used to. And so what you need is guidance to how to elevate your score based on your industry, and because not all industries have the same sort of guiding controls. Which is why we created Microsoft Secure Score. So it provides rich insights into your current security posture through an easy-to-use user interface, and as well as guidance on how you can go from point A to point B to C to D, wherever you need to go in order to fully secure your environment. All right, so let's set the stage for what goes into Secure Score. It originally started in 2017, and it was aimed solely at Office 365. So it was only collecting telemetry from Office 365. But we expanded it to include Windows 10 data through Windows Defender ATP, or Advanced Threat Protection. And now we also include telemetry from enterprise mobility and security, including MCAS, or Microsoft Cloud App Security, Azure AD, and Intune, and more are coming this year. And so currently, based on all that, 89 controls is sort of our current baseline, but we're adding to it every month. And so Secure Score is comprised of two numbers, obviously. So you have your current score based on the controls that you have deployed currently out of the total controls that you could deploy. And this score is based on sort of what you own. So if you own Office 365 E3, it's based on that. It's going to be completely different, for example, if you're using Microsoft 365 E5. So that score is going to change based on what you own. Another great feature is sort of this historical data. So whether you're being audited or whether you want to demonstrate that, hey boss, I should get a raise, look at all the good I do, from point A to Z, you're able to see sort of this trend line. And you can also, hold on, there it is. So you can provide a more detailed view, and I'm going to do a live demo of this, so it's not going to just be completely slideware, I promise. You're going to be able to select a snapshot in time, and you're able to export it to whatever file format you want for a presentation, for other analytics through exporting to CSV, etc. And another important thing, all right, so here's how you can compare your score to the total amount of users that use Secure Score that at least are reporting, have telemetry being reported in. And you're also able to determine where you are positioned vis-a-vis sort of the size of organization. So if you're a 500 user organization, you're not going to look the same, or you're not going to aim for the same type of score as if you're a 10 to 15 to 100,000 active user organization. Another thing, it's super important, no industries are the same, and so you're able to select what industry you're currently operating in, and sort of you can compare whether or not you're better than your peers, you're not better than your peers, it's competition all of a sudden. But it's important to see, so if you're way low, maybe you have a lot more to do, and if you're way over the threshold, maybe you're being too aggressive with your security controls, or maybe that's exactly how you like it. And so guidance. So as everything is changing, and maybe you're a startup, or maybe you don't even know where to go next. What Secure Score does, it allows you to sort of model your ideal score. And there are three thresholds. So it's basic, balance, so you're sort of balancing between end user productivity and security, and then the other setting is aggressive. And so there's a slider that you can just slide all the way up and down based on sort of what you're trying to model your score on. And then you're able to, based on, say if you're at, your current score was 220 and you model it and you're I want to be there, somewhat balanced. It populates a list of controls that you either have currently active or controls you don't have active that you can easily activate through the Secure Score portal. And then it adjusts accordingly based on whether or not you actually go through that action and activate certain policy controls. It does, however, it's not immediate. It does take about 24 hours, and it's updated every morning at 1 a.m. Pacific time in the US. Oh, I already just talked about that. Yeah, so you're able to then see sort of like when you click Learn More, it pops up it doesn't on this slide, but I'll show you guys. So you're able to learn more how you can do it natively through Microsoft. You're able to ignore it, so if the control itself isn't really relevant, when you click Ignore, it removes that from your denominator, your total score or target score. And then if you're, say, using a third-party application that satisfies a certain control need, be it GDPR, HIPAA, NIST, et cetera, then you're able to enter that in and say, provide explanation, I'm using application X, and it does this and this and this, and then it adds those points to your total overall score. There we go. All right, so do we need to zoom in there? How is that for everyone? Is that okay? All right, so what we see here, I guess in this demo tenant, the Windows is not activated, sorry, but you can have it activated, get your score. But so what we see here, it does say Office 365, but that also includes the EMS data that's coming in. And so on the dashboard, that's super low right now. And so let's not be balanced. Let's be the most basic we want to be. Let's be the most basic. It's always going to be basic, right? So this is where, if you want to hit just the baseline minimums in your industry of whatever security controls are required, that's sort of the basic threshold is where you can set that minimum baseline. And so then it populates what we see right here. So like at first, there's nothing. We're just going to hang out there. But if we want to be right at the maximum threshold of basic, yes, then it populates 19 actions that you can possibly do, like require MFA for everyone or just your admins, and shame on you if you don't already have that activated for your admins and most important users you want to secure. Sorry, I shouldn't have shamed. There are also other reasons why maybe you wouldn't have that, but or whether or not you want to have sort of audit of email inboxes, things like that. So let us go and see that screen. So what I think is really cool, and it's super simple, but like back in my day, when we're working with various controls or when we enable something, we have a massive spreadsheet and we're like, all right, we're doing that. All right, which one does it satisfies? And it cross-references various other tabs with other things. It's all right here. You're able to see which controls, which standard, what guidance this is directly mapped to. And so it makes your life a little easier in explaining, well, we're now compliant with all of these, and we did it through a single dashboard. So when you click Learn More, it shows you sort of like, it walks you through the steps. And so let's do that. Thank you, Internet. All right, so you can set a new policy. Say, let's do and again, there's not going to be any like special like magic because it does take 24 hours. And I probably should have done this 24 hours ago, but I was hoping it was going to populate in a shorter period of time. So say if you want to, you're going to set conditional access or conditions based on, hold on, sorry. All right, what cloud apps? So like select all cloud apps that are involved. This works with MCAS, is integrated with MCAS and conditional access. So you set the conditions. Let's see. Like you can set what parameters of like browsers, all of these. You click done, enable the policy, and it should say create, but it's not. Let's say for all users. And then it gives you that warning. You're like, just be sure you're not going to be locked out, admin. And for some reason, it's not saying create right now. Anyway, so then it creates and it takes about 24 hours. And another thing that I spoke to is like how to set your industry. So like over on the side, it tells you where you can go. So you go to the Security and Compliance Center, where you can then set your level of where you reside, in what industry, what region, if you have region-specific security controls or compliance requirements. Down here in service assurance, and you go to the settings here, and then you select, we're just in Europe. Oh, let's be in Brazil. And we're in banking, click save, and then this takes about up to 48 hours to populate. And then once it populates and pulls all that data in, you'll be able to compare your score vis-a-vis other members or other peers within your industry. Let's see. Other fun things. So, and also, for example, say if you're using a third party for inbox auditing for all users. So it allows you to either, if it's irrelevant for you, you click ignore, or here it pops it up and you're just like, and then it gives you, again, the 24 hours to sync with servers. 1 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, or Pacific Daylight Time, depending on what time of year it is. And then, so if you wake up the next day, you're super excited, you're like, what's my score now? You're able to see that change, so it'll probably adjust up a few points because we haven't gone through all 19 actions. And then, all right, so let's look at an extreme case where you want to be a nightmare for all your business users. You're like, we're going to do all of this, and you're going to hate it. But sometimes it's required. So you want to aim for the max score. You have 58 actions. And what some people might have noticed, certain things we don't get telemetry from based on either legal issues or we haven't activated or triaged that yet. It says not scored, and so that won't be factored into your total overall score. But once those are activated, it will be. And so through this, you can set up. Again, it's just a laundry list of things if you want to walk through it. So this is the current state. Oh, let me show you Score Analyzer. Super simple to use. You're able to see how your score has dropped. So when you compare your scores, it tells you exactly what activity occurred, what activity occurred to cause your score to drop and how many points to drop. And you're able to go in and you're like, well, I didn't authorize that, what happened? And you're able to step in, triage it directly from Secure Score itself. Now, this is the current state of it. It is going to be integrated further into the brand new Security and Compliance Center, which I'm going to show you right now. And so the Security and Compliance Center will show you not only Secure Score, but alerts coming in from various other products. And we've announced it and it's available, but a lot of people have not discovered it yet. Let's hope my credentials pick up. All right, so with the future for Secure Score, you'll be able to see all these various security cards or security admin cards that so like identity protection, that would be Azure AD identity protection, Microsoft Secure Score. This is going to be a central hub for all the various data points that are coming in from the intelligence security graph. So with Microsoft Secure Score, you're able to, it's a simple card, you click on it, you want to work directly in this. So you click, all right, let's work on an improvement. And so all these features in the current Secure Score portal are ported over to security.microsoft.com. And so you're able to do everything that you can already do in securescore.microsoft.com here, but you're able to pivot between all apps, which brings everything into a single sort of control plane, or a single pane of glass, if you will, where you're able to look across everything that you do own and the data points that are coming in to give you a broader picture of everything that's going on, any possible nightmare or alert that will be popping up, or if it's like smooth sailing. Let's go back to the home here. And then you can customize various reports. You can include secure score, identity protection, or just secure score, or everything. And you can tailor it to whatever needs you have. Say if an inevitable regulator comes knocking on your door, you're able to provide them all the details if needed, or tailor it to specifically what's being asked. All right. Any other questions on while I have the demo up? Do we have any questions to throw out? Oh, we have quite a bit. Do we have a microphone? Nope, no microphone. All right.
The Azure policies, is it also going to be integrated in this environment?
So the history graph? Oh, Asia Pacific? Yeah. So those are not of the 89 controls, but I know they're working on sort of the broader spectrum and increasing regions. So currently it's United States, or sort of the Western Hemisphere controls, and Europe.
I talked about Azure policies.
Oh, Azure, my apologies. Yeah, so all that is in security.microsoft.com. So that's going to be, all that's going to be flowing into Secure Score, because all of that is in one central location. My apologies. Correct, yes. So when you're talking basic being like that, the thresholds, or that okay, yep. So whatever that you already have those capabilities in Azure Active Directory, those policies and governance controls, that based on what we have set as sort of in that basic threshold, meeting that score, those populate underneath. So like when I showed it, it said like 19 possible controls that you can. Let's pull it back a little bit. Yeah, I think I was right there. And so based on whatever you have, that's what populates. So it's not gonna be like, well, you don't own this yet, buy it now, sort of thing. If that answers the question. Any other questions? Yeah, you're able to do that. So you're able to export, so from the timeline itself in the score analyzer, you're able to like set up the reporting period. So if you want to see the totality of the score from like starting point on, you're able to click it, export. Let's see. Yep, and so you're able to see sort of like what happened. Actually, so it's set for the total timeline. I know there's a setting for actual date, so it groups everything in date, but it does not appear live demos, I swear, right? So yeah, so in theory, you're able to set it based on date range and see sort of like what's occurred on a certain day to cause it to go up or down. And it's low, moderate, and high. Other questions? I saw a couple hands, don't be shy. We have a lot of time, and I think I'm near the end. Secure Score is fun, and it's easy to use. I mean, I think it's fun. But any other questions?
Can I create my own baseline to comply with? You can comply with different standards like ISO and the NIST norms and that kind of thing?
Yeah, so when you just, that's where the sort of that ignore section, so like anything that, so if it populates and there's like 29 controls and say like 13 of them really, you're like, I'm really just targeting these certain controls and I know they're mapped to these following things or features or recommendations that are populated within Secure Score, you can just click ignore. And then that removes that from the total amount of points in that denominator. So are you talking like user roles and setting sort of like a tiered user roles in terms? Yeah, so that would all be, it's connected to Azure AD, so that would all happen in the Azure AD portal. Basically the global admin or however your organization's set up. So if it's the sec admins are not part of the global admin, but they're like ruling over a certain subset of users in a certain country or region, that's all set in Azure AD, and then you're able, when they log into SecureScore, they're able to see that's the universe that they see, whatever they have privileges to view.
Does SecureScore also work, take into account, for example, the hybrid environment, on-premise data server or server?
That is in the works, actually, and I'm really familiar with it. I can't really speak to it because I don't think I'm authorized. Hello, camera. But yeah, so that's through Azure Advanced Threat Protection, Azure ATP, that provides the telemetry from on-prem that focuses on Active Directory users and activities. So that's going to be piped into SecureScore shortly. And by shortly, don't think of any particular timeline in the next few weeks. But it's in the works, and I'm actually really excited about that.
Is there a roadmap you can share with us in the near future, maybe?
The SecureScore roadmap? I don't know where that is located. And I'm actually filling in for a friend for this presentation. So there is a roadmap, and if you want to come up afterwards, I can get your information or give you my information so you can reach out, and then I will get all the right files over to you and get you a full roadmap for the remainder of the calendar year. Oh, another question.
From a partner point of view, is there a way we can see more customers in one view?
That is actually a really good question. So if you enter in through the partner portal, that I don't know the answer for. That would be a great feature. So let me get the answer for you. That would make a lot of sense. Sorry if I don't have all the answers, guys. I like to pretend like I do, but I won't lie.
Some features require a higher license.
No, not necessarily. So I said earlier, the score is based on what you own. And so if you want to see a full sort of like spectrum, I mean, say if you have Microsoft 365 E5, sort of the premium license there, then you're able to see a broader view of, your score is going to be a little bit larger because it's going to populate with other features from other products, but you don't necessarily need to own anything more than what you already own. It'll just show the universe of what you already use and what you own.
Would be valuable, let's say, if we own a certain license, but we need to be, for an industry average on a higher level, that it can show, okay, you need to invest in whatever.
Yeah, so that's where this.
Can you repeat the question?
Oh, yes. So the question is whether or not if based on like your industry, if you need to use a higher, like sort of a higher license, for example. So if you're at E3 to E5, correct me if I'm not interpreting this correctly, will you be able to see sort of a global view of it based on industry and also across the board, whether or not you own the license? And that is you are able to see that actually. And so that's what is populated over here. So the Office 365 SecureScore is, again, a misnomer. So that's Office, Windows, or Office and EMS, E3, E5. And so that's across everything. So not just what you own, but your score and what sort of the denominator of your score is populated based on what you own and your peers. But like this over on the side here is all across the board. And then industry as well, once it's populated 48 hours from now, if we want to hang out, it shows that data as well across the board. It's a global view of that.
And the security Microsoft is already available.
Yeah, you're able to use it today. Yep, yep. It's brand new. You guys saw something fun and new. Any other questions? If not, I can give you guys time back. SecureScore is an amazing product. It helps you harden your security posture, and it's so easy to use. I adore it, actually. Compliance nerd. Oh, another question.
Can you kind of create your own industry type?
We already have set industries, and so what industry would you think?
Well, just a subset.
A subset of like banking or health or.
Or a subset in the Netherlands, so it can be very specific.
Oh, that's very specific. I don't believe so. I think everything is pretty rigid there at sort of the industry types. It's pretty all up. But you can select country though. So you can do industry and then country, or industry and then region. And so you can tailor it and customize it, but a subset of a certain industry, say like, like food chains under retail versus retail all up. I don't think you can necessarily do that, but you can tailor it based on country, region, and industry, or all industries in a particular countries or all industries in a region. So that's sort of how you can titrate up and titrate down based on sort of what type of view you want to see. So to my knowledge, so the question was, so if a new feature pops up to help you in your security posture, say like next week, will you get an in-browser or in-app sort of notification of like, here's what's up, here's what's new, here's what you work with. SecureScore does not currently have that. Sort of those general pop-up alerts for any brand new features rolling out. But those alerts, for example, I mean, if you look at Azure AD, so if you're like going across to the Azure AD portal, those will all populate within. So if you're enabling various controls that are governed within policies from Azure AD, you'll be able to see sort of all those new alerts or new features. Yeah, so that's where if you're adding sort of various policies, so for example, like industry type takes you to the compliance manager or the security and compliance center. Other things, setting sort of integrating with AIP for setting various compliance settings for unstructured data. So all of those are just integrated together. So whenever you click on a various control that you want to enable, it pops up, it provides you the information of what you need to do and where you need to go, and it takes you directly there. But all right, thank you very much. Thank you.